Well, congratulations, Ian. What a way to bounce back after the disappointment of Friday. Sum up today's game.
Outstanding performance. I thought outstanding character shown by the players. You know, it's been no secret that, especially after Friday's result and in the last 6 games, we haven't maybe had the performances and hit the heights that we had earlier in the season. And we've come in for some criticism, which is fair. I think we've got to expect that after the performance, especially on Friday. So for the boys to bounce back the way they have today and perform, not just the win, but the way we've won the game and the way we've played football today, I think says a lot about them, their mentality, the fact that they're still fighting every game to achieve what we want to achieve this season. And I thought today is probably right up there with one of our better performances this season.
And why do you think it was so different? Was it because it was in front of a big crowd?
I'm not sure. Maybe that's part of it. I think the whole atmosphere Friday was a flat one, but I think the players and the staff have got to take their share of the responsibility. It's on us to get the fans going and behind us. And I just thought Friday was a flat day in general. But yeah, sometimes you just can't put your finger on it. I think if we knew that going in, we might have changed something in terms of selection and everything else. And the one thing I would say, in the last 6 games, although we haven't won for 6, certainly some of the performances have been good ones. You know, Torquay and Bath away, to name a couple, and probably should have got more out of those games. So, we knew it wasn't a disaster, but at the same time, it's part of the staff's job to act when we see things we're not happy with. And I think, we certainly did that in the way we spoke to the players before the game and reinforced the things that they've done really well this season. And it was just about getting back to basics for me today, winning second balls, showing loads of energy off the ball, and when we got the ball, being confident enough to play. And listen, after a result like Friday, you might think it's difficult for the players to have the freedom to go and play the way they did, but it shows a lot of character from them that they've got the ball down and they've looked to be positive for their passing today.
Might there have been a feeling coming into half-time, if Dyer had not scored in the 45th minute, that actually, again, it was a half where you'd had opportunities and not taken them?
Absolutely. I think the one thing that this league has highlighted for everyone this season is that goals have changed games. And it sounds a funny thing to say, but if you look back at some of the games this season where maybe we have been on top and 3-1 up against Torquay with 10 minutes to go, we should be winning that game. Bath away, winning, and maybe didn't get the second one at the right time. And again today, you never know what it's going to do going the other way. At the same point, Chelmsford last week, we could have scored a couple in the first 10 minutes, and that changes the game then. So pleased in time to score the goal. I think that gave us a lot of confidence to carry on playing the way we were second half, because that, like you say, if it's 0-0, do you get a bit tetchy? But the boys, with that goal, settled down a lot, and second half came out. And the one thing we emphasised at half time was keep playing your football the same way we have been, because that's been successful. And they stuck to that game plan, and they've got the rewards today. But listen, I know Dow's obviously coming from some stick. The players have, we all have, and rightfully so after Friday. And I thought it was a real good response from everyone today.
And a word about Craig Ross. Obviously, he didn't have the happiest of afternoons on Friday, but that was a quite magnificent save, wasn't it, in the first half at a very important time? Important
time, and that's what the best keepers do. They make saves at the important times. And listen, Rossi was the first one to come back in on Friday, and fair play to him. He held his hands up. He apologised to the lads, which took a lot to do as well from his point of view. But he's a good keeper. He's a top keeper, isn't he? That's why we signed him. He's played higher than this, and we know what we're getting out of Rossi. But like you say, it's one of the saves of the season for me. At the time, we were right behind it there, and the lad struck it. It's going in the top corner all the way, and he's got across and tipped onto the bar, which is equally as important as a goal at the other end, you could say. So those things went for us today, but you've got to have the players to make those things go for you sometimes, and we certainly had that today.
Another player's come in for some criticism, Dyer. Apart from his goal, that was an absolutely world-class tackle, wasn't it, in the first half? Again, at a very important time.
Brilliant. I'm pleased for Musa. We're all pleased for Musa. Great lad. Been frustrating for me, Dowse and Martin, and for Musa himself, because we know how good he is and can be, and I don't think, and he'll be the first to admit, his performances have maybe lived up to his ability, and rightfully so. He's coming for a little bit of stick, but we've stuck with him. We know what he's all about. Like I say, he's a great lad. He's an honest lad. He wants to do well, and really pleased for him to get his goal today. He's been close in previous games, and that's what he'll bring to the team as well. But you see the other side of it with his tackle as well, again, as important as a goal at the other end. So I think in the first half he showed both sides of his game, and highlighted what he's all about, really. But I think that goal will kick him on. It's great for the fans singing his name as he come off there. I think that will give him a lot of confidence as well, and we need him to obviously carry on performing now.
And talking about frustrating players, Alassani 2 goals in the second half, and he really showed again what he's about and what he can do.
Yeah, he's been frustrated again. He's a lad that wants to play, and I sometimes like that when players that aren't in the team are coming and knocking on the manager's door and saying, listen, you know, I want to play, and he's certainly one of those characters. So I like that about him. He's got a bit of grit about him, and you know, listen, he's not a Coventry City because he's a bad player. He's this football club especially, he's scored a lot of goals and done really well. So pleased for him. We just felt maybe coming back to his old club, it might give him a little bit of an added incentive. He got a great reception from the supporters when he came on and off at the end of the game, which says a lot about him as a player as well and what they think of him. So that will give him confidence. I think his goals return is very good in terms of his starts, and again, maybe he's not been consistent with 1 or 2 performances and he was out of the team and he's had to fight to get back in. But listen, he scored 2 goals, and I'm assuming it's going to be difficult now for the manager not to pick him next week, and that's down to the players sometimes. But yeah, really pleased for him as well. You know, took his goals well and overall I think performed really well today.
And slight disappointments at the end, not keeping a clean sheet.
Always coaches, managers, you know, but I think sometimes you can focus kind of on a negative aspect of the day, and we've said to the players, because the players are upset, especially the back four, sometimes you just got to focus on the positive part of the game, and at this stage of the season that's just a stat. It's would have been great to get a clean sheet, but I think it was a kind of a product of the game. It was, a lot of the players were tired. We didn't get out to the ball quick enough, and he's hit a great shot, to be fair to him. The players are disappointed, but we've had to remind them of all the good things they've done today, and I think that's what we're kind of stick with leaving the ground today.
And you finished second. When you look at the season as a whole, has that exceeded your expectations?
No, because we want to be successful, and I think we'd always back ourselves to be up there and be in the position we're in. Of course, you know, it's no kind of secret some of the challenges we've had this year in terms of starting with a blank piece of paper, and some of the resources and teams in this league are very, very strong, and there's some strong teams in this league, but we'd always back ourselves to compete. I think that's why we're at this football club, to compete at that end of the table, and certainly it's a good achievement. Obviously Torquay have been the best team, that's why they are where they are, but you know, the table says we're the second best team, and it doesn't lie at this stage of the season. So that's one achievement. We've told the boys not to get too excited about that fact. It's great. It means obviously we get certain advantages in the playoffs, but we've got to keep winning games now, and they've got to keep their feet on the ground and keep producing performances like they have today.
And finally, a word about the travelling fans. They travelled in huge numbers today, some of them wearing actual playing cards, and they really got behind the team, didn't they?
They did, and listen, there was a reason we went over, and the manager and the captain between them had decided they wanted the whole squad, the staff, the subs, the people that weren't in the squad today, to go over to the fans before the game and after the game and show their appreciation. And I think the theme for us in the change room before the game and at the end is togetherness, and the fans are a massive part of that. The boys have got to be together on the pitch, the staff and everyone around them and inside the club, but the fans are a massive part of that, and we've got a fantastic fan base. That's hopefully a bit of a reward for people spending their time on a Monday travelling across London to come and watch us, that performance, and they're going to play a massive part going forward, and I hope they know that, and it's a massive thank you from us as well. So great, and I saw the guys obviously fancy dress and brilliant, and great day for everyone all round.
Lovely, thank you very much for your time, Ian. Have a good evening.
Cheers, thank you.